Hey, you. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. Are you looking for the best way to promote your podcast? It's easy. Just advertise your podcast to your ideal target audience. That's right, listeners of similar podcasts. Podbean has the best and most cost-effective options for you. Just go to the website sponsorship.podbean.com/STR. That's right, your friends here at Scout Team Radio are hooking you up. Go to sponsorship.podbean.com/STR and you will get the best deals to get your podcast rolling. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy Scout Team Radio.
Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. That is right. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yep, and that about sums it up. That's all true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great American. He is a great patriot. You all know him as
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy Chris America coming to you live this Monday, September the 9th, 2019. Yes, that means it's 9/9/19. Those are your Power 3 numbers for tonight. And if you win, don't forget to tip the Scout Team. And Loudbeard, you know that my birthday was like 3-4 weeks ago, almost a month ago. And I'm officially old, man.
you
I
are.
was running last night, doing nothing but running. And out of nowhere, a pain went down in my lower back. And now I'm like, man, I need to start investing in some Bengay or some BioFreeze or some Icy Hot. I'm going to need to sleep with heating pads now. Like, that's what being old means. It's owning all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
For
the
no
pains,
reason
the
whatsoever.
aches.
I wish I could say, like, I was doing, like, a 300-pound clean jerk or squats or something like that. Nope, just running.
Yeah, when you're old, just pains come out of nowhere. You could be walking. You could be jogging. You could be running. You could be doing anything that is just a casual activity.
You could just
and
bend
all of a
down
sudden,
to pick up your socks.
Yes,
or your
and all of a
shoes.
sudden your back goes out.
Boom. Ridiculous.
Terrible feeling. I will say,
Ridiculous.
other than you being old and then me being old by de facto, I will say that, on a Monday morning when it has been a weekend like we had, week 1 of the NFL, week 2 of college football, MMA fighting, like our job is super easy on a morning like this morning. So I feel good about that. It's better than your back though, right?
Yeah, and even though I'm getting old, some things, they never change. And you know what one of those things that never changes, Loudbeard?
Is it the Patriots kicking everybody's butt?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Not only are they kicking their people's butts on the field, but they're kicking people's butts in just free agency life in general. Somehow, Antonio Brown goes
cheaters.
from... Huh?
I heard a
cheaters.
golden ghost on,
Oh,
on the
my
mic.
goodness. Wow.
I didn't think it would ever
Too many
happen.
Cheaters, man.
Ah.
Say what now? What's wrong with you guys?
Who's
You
on the
guys never
mic?
heard my voice before?
Wait,
Who is
wait.
that?
Do you hear something?
I thought we deleted that. I'm pretty sure I thought we deleted that. That's ridiculous. Play the real intro. If you're going to play my intro, play the real intro, man.
Hey, I'm just here
Come
so I
on.
won't get fined. Hey, I'm just here
Thank
so I
you.
won't get fined.
It's the man with the golden mic, the golden ghost. What's up, guys?
What's up, man? And welcome back.
Yeah, every once in a while.
We're
Yeah,
excited
man.
to
the
have you
Patriots
back
are
on.
cheaters, though, bro.
New phone, who dis?
Man, the Patriots are cheaters, man. How does that happen that fast and nobody no one blinks an eye at it. Like, the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. Period.
People are blinking their eyes at it. Now, the NFL hasn't done anything, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories sitting out there that this was all orchestrated by Antonio Brown. He wanted to go to the Patriots. He didn't want to be on the Raiders. He actually reached out to social media experts to say, like, what do I need to do to create this to happen? Like, how do I make this happen? So this was all orchestrated between Antonio Brown and the Patriots. I do think there is a conspiracy going on here, and you called it, Anthony Mack.
Someone,
Well, I
someone
called it
needs
on
to
the
investigate
show.
it.
I called it
Yeah.
on the show Thursday. Remember,
Yeah.
I said this feels like Antonio Brown wants out. Like he got to
Yep.
the Raiders, and he says, "This is not what I wanted." He took a couple of passes from Derek Carr.
This isn't what I
and
want to do.
said,
in
"I'm
life.
out of here."
But the difference is Anthony called it in 2017, the last time he was on the show. That Patriots were cheaters.
You're gonna throw jabs on a Monday morning, huh, bro? That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this already.
I know where you live. I'll just come by. You know me. I'm gangster, baby.
Oh, wow.
So, anyways, I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah, the Raiders,
Antonio
the Patriots.
Raiders.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
if it isn't orchestrated, then the rest of the NFL teams are they just let the Patriots do it again. This is what they do. They take on projects that everybody else is too afraid to handle, that everybody else can't handle, and then they win Super Bowls with it. The only person that it
Or
didn't
they
work
make
out
the project.
with the only person that it didn't work out with really was Chad Ochocinco, but I think that's because Chad Ochocinco was beyond his prime.
Yeah, his skills had already diminished enough at that point where it didn't matter. He was already over the hill. Like, the Patriots couldn't even resurrect his career at that point. But this is bad for the NFL, right? Like, I think we all are in agreement with that. I saw reports that the Seahawks and the Browns were both trying to get Antonio Brown, but I think the entire time he had his eyes set on the Patriots. And guess what? Patriots last night with Josh Gordon looking like Josh Gordon of 3 years ago, looking like a killer out there on the field. I'm scared about what the Patriots will look like with Antonio Brown, man. The sky is the limit for this team, unfortunately.
Well, if
the
Antonio Brown
Steelers
has
fans,
the Steelers playbooks and the Raiders playbook, they're gonna win the AFC, right? So
well,
'cause that's
if
what
the
happened.
Steelers,
Antonio Brown
if the
gave him the
Steelers
playbook,
play
man.
the way they played last night, they're not going to need their playbook later on in the playoffs because
that
Steeler
is a fall
fans-
from grace, by the way.
Steeler fans are afraid of what the season's going to look like. And without Antonio Brown, without Le'Veon Bell, that offense is anemic.
I have to agree
Like
with
I
you.
said, that's a fall from grace. Like 3 years ago, the Steelers were had the best offense, hands down, in the league. Like, they should have been unstoppable. And the only person that's really left from that is Big Ben, and he was the weak link of that. So I don't even know how. I don't know, man. Tomlin might be losing his edge over there, bro. That's all I'm saying.
You can't replace Antonio Brown's production. I don't care what they say. I know Juju had a good year last year, but Antonio Brown, if you look at what he's done over the last 5 to 6 years, I mean, he's putting up 1,200 to 1,700 yards a season regularly with double-digit touchdowns. I mean, the guy is a machine with production. I get he's a head case, but the Steelers aren't going to replace that production. And as you saw last night, that Steelers offense is just sitting there not moving at all. They stink, man. You know who they could really use at quarterback? Lamar Jackson. I think that would have helped out the Steelers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think that also is what's gonna scare the Steelers because Lamar Jackson's in their division. They got to play that kid twice.
Yeah,
but
they gotta play him.
Juju, as much as I love Juju Smith-Schuster, great guy, great for the community, great for the NFL, hell of a football player, but a lot of his production came because teams were double teaming Antonio Brown. They were worried about where Antonio Brown was, that he could get lost. I was watching that game last night. I didn't know who any of those receivers were besides Juju Schuster-Smith. And apparently neither did the NBC calling crew because they kept telling you where Juju Schuster-Smith was on the field and nobody else. Every play they're like, oh, Juju Schuster-Smith's in the slot. Now he's over on the X position, then the Y position. It's like, is there no other receivers on this team that you guys could talk about?
Yeah, the Steelers are going to be bad this season. But I do want to go back to Lamar Jackson and say I told you so. I told you that he could be a quarterback in the NFL, and I told you he would be an elite quarterback in the NFL.
You mean he's not just
Time
a
and
running
time
back?
again. He's never been a running back. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
I miss Joe
he's
Flacco.
A QB. He was. Come on, man. Some people thought Joe Flacco was going to stay on forever, but the rest of us knew the truth. Like, Lamar is the future. Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback in the NFL. Period. He's going to be great.
I think we need to slow down a little bit because
It's
it
week
was
one.
the Miami
What?
Dolphins. No, not only was
Come
it week
on,
one,
man.
it was the Miami Dolphins. It was the Miami Dolphins. It's the same as Dak Prescott going off last night. It was the New York Giants. Let's all slow down a
The
little bit with
Cowboys
the
still suck.
overreactions. Now, Tom Brady looked
It's-
excellent against the Steeler defense. That's something you can write home to Mama about. But beating up on the Dolphins
can
and the
you?
Giants, I don't know that you go off the edge right there with that to say he's elite.
Well,
Uh-oh, but Jenny
Well,
of
I'll tell you
Ohio's
what.
tweeting
I'll
in
t-
at
I'll
us
give you
right
that.
now. You guys
Who?
got to understand that Jenny of Ohio is saying, yes, Lamar Jackson is elite. And if one of our favorite listeners is saying it, it's got to be true. So, Jenny, I know you're a big Ravens fan, and you're not a big fan of my Redskins. I get that. But I thoroughly enjoyed watching Lamar yesterday, and I'm actually really excited of watching some Ravens games here on out because Lamar Jackson makes that team fun. Even
No,
though
he
it was
does.
because it was the trashy Dolphins, and the Dolphins could be the worst team in the league this season.
be.
Doesn't mean could be or whatever.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that Lamar Jackson doesn't deserve some props for what he did. He was amazing yesterday, and the guy, Marquise Hollywood Brown, that guy, I didn't know who he was, and all of a sudden he's catching 2-3 bombs from Lamar Jackson. Man, the wide receiver came out of nowhere, and he looks amazing. This is going to be one of those fun teams to watch this season. He's this season's Patrick Mahomes. That's all I'm saying.
Patrick Mahomes is still this
Listen,
season's
listen.
Patrick Mahomes. Did you see that kid light it up? Oh, my gosh. We talked about how the Steelers lost Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and they looked anemic on offense. The Chiefs rolled out with no Kareem Hunt, and then Tyreek Hill goes out early in the game, and they're still dropping bombs left and right. Sammy Watkins, out of nowhere, raises from the grave and has
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, it's of course because he's going against me in fantasy that he was like all over the field yesterday. He scored 48 points for who I was playing against. It was ridiculous watching it. But man, are the Jaguars defense, are they dead, or was it just Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah. We talked about the Dolphins being the worst team in the league. I think the Jaguars and the Dolphins are like a close bottom.
No,
They gotta be.
The Jaguars are not
Yeah.
that bad. Like, they went against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. Like, they went against a really, really good team yesterday. Of course, they're not going to look that great, and they lose Nick Foles early in
Nick
that
Foles
game.
like really early.
Really, like the
I
second
felt
play
so
of the
bad
game
for
or
Nick
something
Foles
crazy.
and Jaguar
But that
fans. Like,
defense is so suspect, though. It always has been. I know 2 years ago they went to the AFC Championship, but they've been suspect. They were suspect
I mean,
then. They're
that's what
still
happens
suspect.
when you're-
They're not
Sorry.
Dolphin suspect, though. Nobody's Dolphin suspect.
But
They're
that's
like
what-
middle of the road.
and that's what happens when you have an FSU cornerback leading your defense. Like, just it becomes suspect.
Yeah, bro. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. FSU isn't going to be one of them, okay? We're just not going to do it. We're not going to do
After
it.
playing
Okay, we're
UL
not
in
gonna-
row, I wouldn't want to talk about him either.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
not going
listen,
to talk
bro.
about FSU, but let's talk about Willie Taggart. Is he on the hot seat? No, I'm just kidding. We'll get back to that later.
He might have been if they would have lost in that overtime game.
Oh, that was as good as a loss, though. Going to UL
really
Monroe
is.
into overtime. That's like Michigan fans right now that are celebrating their victory over Army. Like, no, double overtime, and Army made some mistakes. Like, you right now should be hanging your head low. I'm just saying. Anyway, we're going from pro football to college football.
NFL.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go
Stick.
back to NFL. Jaguars aren't going to be that bad, but it doesn't look very promising for them. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're nearly as bad as the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins, they look awful, and I saw a report that a lot of their players are already like asking their agents to see if they can get trades to get off of this team because Dolphins week 1 are already in tank mode.
Yeah.
They were in tank mode once they started trading away all those players for draft picks.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Once they sent
They
Laramie
got
Tunzel
some-
and his
they got some
marijuana
problems.
mask over somewhere else, they were in tank mode.
Hey, he's a good tackle, man. Just because
No,
he
he's
likes
a
to
great
partake,
tackle, and I'm not saying anything
partake in
negative.
some
I
extracurricular activities doesn't mean
just,
he's
you
not
know
a
me,
bad
I don't
tackle.
care about that stuff. I think they should allow it.
So, out of
Josh
the
Gordon be
NFL
happy.
players yesterday, there was a lot that dazzled, but I'd say there's a lot of question marks around Todd Gurley. Last season in the Super Bowl, he disappeared, and he comes out this game. Now, you probably watched it, Chris America, because the Rams were playing your Carolina Panthers. What did you take on Todd Gurley and his lack of production yesterday? Is this what we're going to get out of this guy all year?
Well, I don't know if it was a lack of production because he led his team in running. I think it's more of just a change in game plan. They're running that Brown guy a lot early, which was pissing me off because he's also on my fantasy team. Gurley is, and that dude hawked off 2 touchdowns off of me. But he ended up with nearly 100 yards rushing, and was very productive in the third and fourth quarter, especially when they needed to run out the clock. He had a lot of great, 10, 15, 20-yard runs in him. I just don't know if they want to work him, especially with them paying him as much money and as much guaranteed. Maybe they're like, we need to go running back by committee. We don't want to wear Gurley down. And maybe that's what they thought happened last year in the playoffs, is that Gurley got worn down, so they're just changing up their game plan a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the game plan. He was still productive. He didn't get 150, but 100 is still good, right? So, no, I think once the season progresses, they'll have a solid game plan. I like the way they do it now, though. I mean, got to give the guy a break. You can't run. He's a little fella. He's not that big, so you can't run him like you can run the other guy. The other guy can take a pounding all season, So, no, I think they have a solid game plan. They'll return. They'll definitely be, NFC Championship?
Yeah, I mean, Gurley finished
At
with
least?
14 carries, 97 yards, 6.9 yards a carry. So it was just, I think that's more of the coaching decision because they gave Malcolm Brown 11 carries. So I think those two guys are going to try and develop into a big two-headed monster to kind of keep both legs fresh and pound teams at the end. The biggest concern
Just like
that I
last year.
noticed was Cam Newton, and his inaccuracy continues to be a problem. I don't know if it's the shoulder. I don't know if he's just past his prime, but Cam was just, man, when he missed throws, he missed them bad. And there was a couple of times he had Greg Olsen open, and he threw it too high. Like, how do you throw too high for a guy that's as big as Greg Olsen? Just hit him right in the numbers, man.
Yeah, you might be right, though. We might have seen the best of
Cam,
Cam already. We might be seeing the decline of Cam. That's unfortunate because he's a big physical guy. But like you said, you start getting older, you start getting aches and pains in places that you don't realize. And Cam Newton, he's been having trouble with injuries the last couple of years. We might have already seen the best of Cam Newton. This might be the decline for him.
And the worst
Maybe
thing
he
to go
needs
out
to
for a
work on more
quarterback is his
training and
shoulder.
not his after his interview outfits. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, maybe. I
Oh,
don't know, he
come
needs
on.
to work on his accuracy.
He wears a romper. He's a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking guy.
And there it is. Everything you need to know what's wrong with Cam Newton. Kyle thinks he's a good-looking guy.
He is.
Yeah. I think he's
That's a
still
problem.
undefeated against Aaron Rodgers, though. If not, he's got a winning record, that's for sure. I know he's won the last 2 meetings.
We're gonna fight.
There you go.
Period.
Period. The end. You guys
Period,
have
the
to fight.
end.
We got to fight it
Period.
out. So any other NFL stuff you guys want to go over real quick before we jump into college football, because there's a big college football weekend too.
I mean, other than the Browns
we
laying a
skipped
huge
over the
egg against the
Redskins.
Titans.
What's going on, bro?
Okay. Well, real quick with the Redskins, they started out and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the team I wish they were.
Yeah, your boy
And then
looked like he was
he
doing
looked good. And then they ended like the team I thought they would be. So, yeah, that's how it goes, man. I've never really proclaimed that the Redskins were going to be anything special this year, and They did exactly what they normally do, and that's disappoint me. So they started out, they teased me. They got a 14-0 start real quick, got 2 scores, and then basically imploded from there. The defense couldn't stop the Eagles in the second half. And yeah, we lost. So
And you guys
there's
had
that.
0 running game. What's going on there? I thought Darius Geis was supposed to come back charging.
I thought Geis was going to be the answer, and now I look back and they had Adrian Peterson as an inactive
healthy
player. Oh, now I look back and I'm thinking they got it. Week 2, AP's got to be back playing, man. Maybe that's the problem. You need a little AP in your life. You need a little Black Captain America to come save the day, and we did not have that. This team, it was disappointing, but it's week 1, so I'm not going to overreact. And
Yeah, I was
you
surprised
know what?
to see you guys.
It was
you guys
in
were up big.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, you guys were up big, and you guys only had 13 carries. You got to run the ball more than 13 times when you're up big.
And I'm not
Yeah.
sure AP is going to be your savior this year, man. Remember, I think we've seen the best of AP too. Like, he was decent last year, but I don't know, man. I don't think he pulls it off with that offensive line you guys got. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't
It's gonna
think
be a
the
long
O-line's
season for
that
you.
bad. They just didn't run enough. Anyway, let's go back to that Browns implosion that Chris America brought up, because that is a big deal. Let's talk about something else. Hey, so the Cleveland
That's not
Browns,
an
Super Bowl or
implosion.
bust?
That's not an implosion, though. I mean, let's just be real.
I mean,
The
it
Browns
was. It
looked
was
good on
only-
paper last year too.
It was 12-6 at halftime, and then they ended up losing 43-13.
That
But
sounds
that's
like an
the
implosion
Browns,
to
though.
me.
That's the
That's
Browns
21.
being
They scored.
Browns.
The Titans scored 21 points in the fourth quarter alone. That's an implosion.
That's the Browns being the Browns, though. Like, seriously, that's just the Browns thing to do for the last up 10 years. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
you don't do
saying,
that
like,
against the Titans. I don't know, man.
Well,
They've
here's
been
the
doing-
deal with the Titans, though. They got Marcus Mariota, he's in this like make it or break it type situation, right? Like him and Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston did the opposite. He sucked. But Marcus Mariota came out, and he actually played like a number 1 or number 2 overall draft pick should play, even though it's 5 years later. And maybe Marcus Mariota's finally going to be the quarterback we thought he would be.
Nah, he's still what we thought he is.
We'll
We
see.
know he is.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I think he is I think he is what he is, and Jameis Winston is what we thought he was too. Sorry, he's probably done in Tampa.
Now,
Probably.
you brought up Jameis Winston, and he was who we thought he was. But Jimmy Garoppolo,
Mhm.
18-27, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Niners get the win, but it's against the hapless Buccaneers.
I've
Is
been
this
saying
a
this
pause
about
for
Jimmy G
concern, man?
ever since he went there.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
the 49ers are going to be as good as a lot of the hype around them going into this season has been, because they just don't have the talent, it seems like. They have good defensive talent, but on the offensive side of the ball, it just
You got George
Garoppolo,
Kittle, and that's
man.
it.
yeah, it's Kittle.
Listen.
And then who else is out there? I mean, Godwin is
Listen.
a good receiver, but not great. I don't know, man.
Garoppolo isn't as good as we think he is. As everybody else thinks he is. That's all I'm saying. He's not as good. He's not going to carry that team. Not at least not with the way it is structured now. He's not going to do it. So if anybody's counting on Jimmy G to be Superman over in San Francisco, you better put on your Clark Kent glasses, because that's who you're going to get. Period. I like saying
Okay.
period now for some reason. It's nice.
That's what she said.
Period. That is what she said. So yeah, Jimmy G, Jameis Winston, and Mariota. They won't be in the league in 3 years?
Wow. All 3 of them. That's
Like
pretty
they
bold
won't be in
statement.
the league. Like they won't even be backing somebody up.
Yeah, that's a bold statement,
Uh,
Cotton.
let's say they'll be backups. They'll be backups. At least 2 of them will be backup. Maybe Jameis won't be in the league. He'll be.
Jameis will be the
playing Canadian
quarterbacks
football.
coach for the new Florida State coach that gets elected this season.
Listen, we're not going there, but Taggart's going to get 4. I'm advocating
4
for Taggart
wins?
for 4 years at least.
4 wins this year. I can see them getting 4 wins this year. I agree with that.
I promise you, I'm going to fight you. Oh,
Hey, I didn't
man,
see
I'm
this,
gonna
but
see
your
you in a
boy
fight.
RG3 got some work in yesterday. He was 6 for 6, 55 yards, 1 touchdown.
Nice.
Is he back? Is Robert
No.
Griffin III back?
No, he's not. He is not Chris America.
And then Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not the same Ryan Fitzpatrick we all know and love.
Yeah.
Huh?
He was pedestrian yesterday. He had a couple good passes. I mean, he had a nice little touchdown strike, and he broke a record for throwing a touchdown for 8 different teams. So quarterback
Wait.
with the most touchdowns thrown for, or the most different teams he's thrown a touchdown for. So congratulations to Ryan Fitzpatrick for throwing touchdowns on 8 different teams.
Did you just say that he? Nah, never mind. Ryan Fitzpatrick that's one quarterback that shouldn't be in the league, even though he had that phenomenal 3 weeks last year. Yeah,
I mean, he has a phenomenal
Still.
3 weeks every year. That's why he's on 8 teams.
He's saving for the playoffs. I don't know, man. I still think there's some quarterbacks in the league that are, I'm going to say this, that are underneath Colin Kaepernick still. Just going to say that out loud in case anybody's listening. Anybody
I don't know if we should keep talking about him. I mean, it's been like, what,
3 years
now?
later?
Like,
4
is it
years?
time-
I'm just
I think
saying.
it might be time to move on. Like,
He's going to be dead, and people are still going to be like, I think they're
he
still
got
better.
paid.
That'll be the joke. Like, Colin Kaepernick's dead, and he's still better than half the quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, yeah. I mean, right now it is a joke at this point. I'm not advocating for him to come back in the league. Yeah, he's done. He got paid.
Well,
He settled his lawsuit. He got paid. Go ahead.
the
roll out.
Packers,
So
they struggled on offense. Maybe they need a new quarterback.
Yeah, their quarterback didn't look that good.
listen to me. Don't you talk about AA Ron like that. All right? There's certain
truth,
things
though.
that we can joke about. You cannot joke about AA Ron. All right? He's a god. He's a football god. We're going to the ship this year. We got a good defense. We have a great defense.
You're going to the ship,
You
huh?
just got to get it right on offense.
I'll
Huh?
throw you overboard.
We're going to the ship, man. Maybe Carnival Cruise Line or something, but we're going to a ship. All right?
I do hear
I hope
they
you
have
have
great
money on
cruises. I do hear they have great cruise specials during the time of the playoffs, so that's probably where they're going.
Yeah, it's
During their
winter.
vacation.
We don't want to be up in Lambeau. during
Right. So
winter
you guys
anyway,
gonna be
so,
watching
know.
you guys gonna be watching the playoffs from a cruise ship.
Listen, I know Green Bay isn't that great right now, but give me about 5 weeks, man. I saw some flashes of good, but yeah, we got work to do.
Yeah, that's
Got a lot of work
championship
to do. But our
description right there.
defense looks good.
Flashes of good. That's how I describe a championship team.
I can't even say flashes
That's how
of
you
great.
describe Ryan Fitzpatrick's career.
Flashes of good.
Flashes of good.
That's
Flashes
right. That's
of
why
three
you.
weeks
I'm glad we
need Ryan
finally. I'm glad you
Fitzpatrick.
finally recognized that the Green Bay Packers are the Ryan Fitzpatrick of the NFL.
I hate you guys. Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't got a ring. I got a ring. Chump.
You got a ring?
Green Bay has a ring.
Oh, okay. I was
I'm
just,
claiming one.
making sure you know
Right.
that like you don't get a
I'm-
ring when your
I've
team
seen
wins
2
the
in my
Super Bowl.
lifetime. I'm claiming those. I'm keeping them now.
Okay. All right.
They're mine. All right. I know who ain't got one. Carolina. Keep talking.
All right, so Memphis Spence right now wants
Yeah,
to chime in
awesome.
on what the Golden Ghost had to say. He says, wait, did the Ghost just say that Mariota, Winston, and Jimmy G won't be starters in 3 years? Winston maybe, but Mariota has been to the playoffs already, and you saw how good he was yesterday. I'm throwing that part in. And Jimmy, we'll see. Yeah, Memphis Spence, he said that. He's bold statementing it this morning on this Monday, and he's wrong. He's dead wrong. Thank you, Memphis Spence, for pointing that out.
I am not wrong. It's not a great division. So, yeah, he can make it to the playoffs, what, at 8-8? That's what they did last time they were there. So, yeah, they can make it to the playoffs, but has he done anything? Has he made any noise? No. This is his 5th year in the league. Come on, bro. Step up or step out. It's only so much. It's all pick can hold. It can hold you for 5 years. It might hold you for 6, but without anything to show for it, that's about it, man.
All
If
right,
he doesn't
well,
do anything this year, and next year he's done.
Whatever. All right, man, we're a couple minutes away from the commercial. I want to jump into college football, but I don't want to do it right before the commercial. So we'll get into an early commercial, and we'll come back, and we'll go all college football. I do have to say, is the next Heisman-winning quarterback. Could he possibly be coming from LSU? We'll talk about that on the flip side.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst. Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune into us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Welcome back. That's right. You were listening to Scout Team Radio. I don't know what's going on with the soundboard today. All of our sound effects. We keep playing that song for some reason. It's weird how that keeps happening. So once again, we're Scout Team Radio. He's Chris America. He's the man with the golden microphone, back and better than ever. And I am Loud Beer. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. You can also download our podcast if you can't catch us live. Make sure you check that out at Scout Team Radio. You can search it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find your podcast. Just search Scout Team Radio. You can find us. And if you want to get interactive with us like Jenny has this morning, like Memphis Spence has this morning, hit us up on Twitter. We will read your tweets on the air. We will talk about your topics, your subjects, all that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's get into some college football, man. I teased it before the break. This could be a little bit of a bold statement, but there is a quarterback in Louisiana that looks like he could be the next Heisman Trophy winner. Joe Burrows has a career day, and we've all been talking about Jalen Hurts, and we've been talking about Justin Fields and Nick Fromm, but nobody's been giving Joe Burrows the love that he deserved. But he went out in a statement win and showed the world what he was made of, and he's been good as of late. I will say last season, I believe it was the Alabama game, he looked absolutely anemic. He couldn't hit anything, and he sucked. Since that game, the guy has been lighting it up, and he hasn't been getting the credit he deserves. So Joe Burrows yesterday, did he make a case that he could be the next Heisman Trophy winning quarterback? What do you guys think?
I think that LSU has never seen an offense like this. I don't remember a potent offense like this at LSU. So I think he's a shoe-in for like the top quarterback at LSU probably ever. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I got questions.
Yeah, you're not sold
he
on
has
it
to be
yet,
a
are
little
you?
more consistent. Yeah, I'm not sold on it. I think they're going to be good. I mean, obviously they're going to be good, but I'm not sure he's going to be a Heisman candidate by the end of week 7. Let's see how that goes.
All right. Well, this has been. It seems like it's been the year of the quarterback. We've gotten some really great performances. You know, it's early though. We understand that it's week 2. We're gonna overreact. We're gonna exaggerate a little bit here, but I've been very impressed with some of this quarterback play. And you know what? One of the guys we're not talking about a lot is Tua. He's not one of the big names. It's really Jalen Hurts who is the transfer from Alabama, goes to Oklahoma, and he fits right in. Lincoln Riley continues to be the quarterback whisperer. Jalen Hurts lighting it up, and it's unbelievable how Oklahoma has gone from Baker to Kyler to now they've got Jalen, and they have gone quarterback to quarterback to quarterback, and all of these quarterbacks just have been lighting the world on fire.
I like Lincoln Riley. I like him. I really do. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. He always does find a way to put up big points. So, I don't know. I like them over LSU all day long.
Okay,
To be
so
honest with
you're a lot like Mike Berlon. He just tweeted in, Mike, it's nice that you're listening. Thank you so much for doing that. Mike Berlon from Craft Brewed Sports. Check them out Wednesday nights. But he says, Scout Team Radio, LSU is bound to drop a game or two, and that will cost Burrow a Heisman. Okay, so he's not on that LSU train as of yet. But we'll see what happens. LSU jumps up into the top 4 in the AP poll. It is only week 2, and they have some tough battles ahead of them. So, yeah, they could drop a couple. I could see that happening.
Yeah, who they got on the schedule?
Who they got on the schedule?
well,
They got a little bit of everybody, man. SEC love over there.
I mean, they had Texas. They got Auburn coming in. They got Alabama. They got Texas A&M. Those are going to be some hard games for them. Besides that, no, they got a pretty easy schedule. They got Florida,
I don't know.
but I'm not high on Florida. at
That's
all.
5 top 25
That's no
teams.
surprise.
Yeah, that's 5 top
Hey,
25 teams.
listen, you're not as good as you think you are. That's all I'm saying.
Who said I thought we were good?
Oh, you don't think you're good?
Not after the way we played against Miami. No, I got to wait till we play, some other teams. We got Kentucky, which will be a tough test. Then we got easy teams like Tennessee and probably Vanderbilt after that. October is when we find out about the Florida Gators, usually. But we
Yeah.
could find out a lot about the Florida
I'll give
Gators
you
come
that.
Kentucky time. That's this week. And I'm actually going to try to be on Girls Beer Sports tonight. Depends on what time I get off of work, though.
Oh, gotcha. That'll be kind of cool. I'll have to check that out. Get to listen to Chris America if he's able to get on Girls Beer Sports. They're out of Kentucky, big time Kentucky fans, so that rivalry lives on. I think you've had to wear a Kentucky shirt a time or two, losing a bet to Girls Beer Sports, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
And we're gonna try and run that bet back again this
Oh,
year.
you got to win one of these eventually, right?
I have to, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to end
I
up
think
with
you
a whole
get-
bunch of Kentucky shirts.
I think you
No
get
matter-
it this year. I think you get Kentucky this year, but
I don't know. It's
yeah,
at their
you're
home.
still not that good.
They're wanting to break another streak, which is that they haven't beat Florida at Kentucky since like 1986 or something like that.
Didn't I think Kentucky's quarterback went down though. I'm
Did he?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
believe
know.
so. But yeah, Kentucky.
it's
I don't know that they're the same team like they were last year. Of course, they don't have Benny Snell.
They're not.
And yeah, it's not going to be the same. Oh, and then Mike Berlon just tweeted in, didn't UK's quarterback go down for the season last week? The Chris America should be safe this year. Yeah, I believe Terry, the quarterback, went down. And yeah, I'm thinking you're probably going to be all right with this one. Though the Gators
Yeah, I
didn't
think
look
you'll
that
be
good
all
against Miami. Now, UT Martin, is that who you guys played this week?
that'll
they-
be the hardest Tennessee team we play all year. So luckily we got over that hurdle.
Poor Tennessee. Proud of our
Yeah,
man.
Volunteers are 0-2 for the first time, and I
If-
think they were for years.
If Florida State had lost to UL Monroe, I was going to come on here saying who is worse, UT or FSU? And I still think it's a valid question.
Listen,
Out of Florida's rivals,
there's-
who is
there-
worse, UT or FSU?
Listen. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because this is what you want to do. I know we have issues at Florida State, and I know they're big issues. But I'm behind my man Willie Taggart for 4 years. I got to give him 4 years. He inherited a mess.
I'm all for
Jimbo
that, man.
left that locker room in disarray.
Why give him
It
4
was-
years when
it
we can
was-
give him 14 years? Let's give him 14. No
Be
matter how
quiet.
good or bad, let's
Be
just
quiet.
give him 14.
I like the number 4. Let's go 44 years.
Yes,
44
years.
Yes.
Listen. Florida
Just give
State
it
has
to-
had 3 coaches in the last 50 years. Okay?
Yeah.
Give me a break. We got this. It'll be okay. We it's our time. It happens to every college football program. It's
Like
our
right
time.
now is our time. Oh, your time to be bad again.
It's our time to rebuild, to be the laughing stock of college football. I get it. That's what we're going to be for a little while. But I'm going to give my man Willie T 4 years no matter what, because I do not want to end up on this coach's carousel to where we get rid of Willie T and we bring in some guy from, I don't know, hell, UT Martin. that was a wide receivers coach, and he has some good ideas, but he's never head coach before, and he doesn't know anything about that program. Willie T had culture shock last year. By far, it was the biggest program he's ever been in, and the expectations were extremely high. We went through a season, we lost, a quarterback, we lost a couple of recruits, and I think now we're just rebuilding. We have to rebuild it. We just can't. I'm not willing to tear it down every 3 years, every 2 years, because the coach isn't doing good. No crap, the coach isn't doing good. He has to get his players funneled in. He has to get his system incorporated, and then we can play ball. Now, after 4 years, we're still looking lackadaisical. Then obviously we have a problem. But I got to give my man 4, at least 4.
I think in 4 years, I will hope that Willie Taggart squeaks out a win at Florida just so they give him a 10-year extension, and then we can just run this through all over again. Like he's doing bad, but then he just beats Florida, and that's the one game that saves his job. I'll be okay with that.
But is it
14 years,
coincidence that
44
Oregon's
years,
better now?
I love it.
No, it's no coincidence. It's
Is it
just,
coincidence
It's
that
just a cycle.
Taggart leaves
No.
and Oregon gets a lot better?
No, USF didn't get better.
Yeah, because he left
He
the
was,
cover
he was
chair.
beating everybody down.
That's
down
true.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
don't
Fair
give
enough.
me that, man. Yeah,
So he
Well,
should go
I
back
mean-
to USF where he belongs.
The American was a lot different then. UCF wasn't UCF. Houston was
Yeah.
kind of hit or miss. Memphis was there, but I don't even know if they played Memphis the year they went. They had that good record, but
no, they played.
I mean, if
Memphis.
you
They
want to
played
keep Willie,
Memphis those
I'm
years.
all for you guys keeping Willie Taggart. I'm
I
all
know
for
you-
like
I
year
know
in and
you
year
are.
out. You guys losing all the time, so I'm here for it. But you know what?
All
It
right.
sounds like you need, Golden Mike. Sounds like
What?
you need a little bit of Monday
What?
motivation, which I haven't done in a little while. But I found a video clip. Oh, whoop! I found this clip here
Play your
that might be able to motivate you from a Montana Tech football coach. You ready for it?
The key to the win was that the Ore Diggers took control early. Kind of like when you get married. That first day, your wife takes control early. And that's what the Ore Diggers did. Our football team was like the kid that plays second French horn in the school band. We got to play better. And that's a double-edged sword, It's kind of like watching your mother-in-law go off a cliff in a Cadillac. You got mixed feelings. First of all, they got after it hard. I'm telling you, they were like a hobo on a ham sandwich. They were going hard all the way. He's like that black lab on the first day of pheasant hunting season. He was pulling at the chain. We're kind of like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. Just keep busy and look for opportunities. I wanted to raise my kids using a depth chart. Can you imagine that? I wanted that. Pam Green vetoed that idea. I got a short memory, just like when I was in the 3rd grade. 2 of the best years of my life. I don't like that bottled water. I like that butte water. You get eat and drink at the same time. Some aspects look like we're really ready to play. A couple of other aspects look like we just got off Willie Nelson's tour bus. His attitude's positive. He thinks he could take on hell with a squirt gun. It's kind of like that T-bone steak dinner with all the trimmings. They played a complete game. With Jacksonville, what more can happen? Jacksonville's so bad they sentence prisoners to attend the games. Everybody expects you to win. My wife couldn't go to church with me on Sunday, and everybody said, "Where is she?" I said, "She doesn't go out with losers." I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A and my grandma beat me for cheating. All the calls I made on 4th down all those years, you know what my favorite 4th down call was?
What?
Punt. It was the most successful play we had.
Oh,
Who is this guy?
I don't know. 12 Ounce Sports Radio tweeted him and said, "This guy is an absolute legend. He's Montana Tech's football coach." I don't know if he's still the coach because some of these clips look really old, but this. Oh, here we go. Memphis Spence with the knowledge here. Yes, Coach Bob Green, coach speak. It's the best coach speak I've ever heard in my life.
I like
Gotta
it.
be like a woodpecker in a petrified
I would run through
forest.
10 brick walls for that guy.
Holy crap!
You gotta
Wow,
you gotta
that
add
was
some of
good.
those
That
to your
was good.
notes and start chiming them out at your Lyman Pop Warner games there, Golden Mike.
My
you
kids
go.
would not. My kids would not understand that, man. My kids would be like, "What is Coach saying, man?"
A
I'm
woodpecker
still
and a
like, what is
petrified
Everybody else is
forest. I
saying
don't
that
know what a
about this guy.
petrified forest is.
What's a petrified forest, Coach? I just want to go block somebody, Coach. Just let me go block. Yeah, that was awesome. That was pretty good. You
I
have
could
say
listen to that over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm in a light mood now, man. I don't even know what we're
Yeah,
talking.
right.
What
We
we're talking
don't even
about?
remember what we were talking about. That's what Monday Motivation's all about. Get you going. Get you in the right
you going.
right foot.
Yeah,
Hopefully some of
I'm
y'all
ready.
are working
I'm
out at the
ready to
gym
take
and that
on the
just
day.
made you like squat 20 more pounds.
I don't know about all that, but yeah. Who's at the
All
gym
right,
at 6
well-
o'clock in the morning?
You guys, man, I like the enthusiasm. I like the coach talk. Nick Saban, he's another guy known for his really no, he's not really inspirational. You know, Nick Saban, he's kind of a at least he's a good coach, right? Like, so he blasts the student section again. I feel like we talked about this last year for leaving early in a blowout win, 62-10 against New Mexico State. Is Nick Saban continuing to be that crotchety old man coach?
Yes.
Where he's blasting the students and
Yes.
come on, don't schedule New Mexico State on your schedule then if you don't want this to happen.
And why blast the students? I mean, dude, you don't want to beat the team up. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like watching a slow car wreck. Who wants to just keep watching that? No, we're out, man. Go ahead and do your thing. Nobody wants to see.
All right.
But
so
yeah, schedule tougher games.
Yeah, when you schedule, hold on, who did they play? They played New Mexico State, and then the week before that, I mean, I guess Duke was an okay scheduling. It would have been better if it was on basketball, but
Yeah.
and then they got South Carolina and Southern Miss coming up, Ole Miss coming up. Alabama gets a cakewalk through the first month of every season. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, especially last year.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of months back.
That Florida State game.
They got
That
the
was-
schedule tougher.
Man, looking at the rest of their
Last year.
schedule, they have Ole Miss, then they have Texas A&M, which I think that's a highly overrated team. They didn't do
Yep.
much on offense against Clemson this past weekend.
Yeah,
Then
their
they have-
quarterback was horrid.
Then they have Tennessee and Arkansas. Then they go and they play LSU. That's another big test. And then it's all Mississippi State and WCU, which I'm assuming is Western Carolina University, before they go to play Auburn.
And Auburn was impressive
Crappy
week
schedule.
one against Oregon. So that Auburn game might be fun.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Crappy schedule.
Hey, you're talking about overrated teams, Texas A&M being overrated. Can I get an amen on this? Michigan. Why are they always so overrated, man? What is up
Because
with
they're
this?
Michigan. Because they're the
Man, I've been
winningest
trying to
program in
tell
all
y'all
sports.
this for years. I've been telling y'all that Harbaugh ain't got the juice for years. He doesn't. Like, come on. You guys laughed at me last year, though. Like, oh, no, Harbaugh's going to be
Yeah,
all
but you
right.
tell
Like,
us that
no,
Taggart
Harbaugh
has
sucks.
the juice, and so it's like confusing as to when you're
Taggart
right.
We
got
don't
the
even know what
juice,
you're
man.
talking about.
Don't you talk to me like that. Do you understand? Taggart has the juice. Harbaugh doesn't.
Okay, Taggart has the juice.
It's like talking to you like you're his child. Like, you do not talk to me like that. You have to understand. These are
I
the
will-
rules of my house.
I will ground
my
you,
house
young
says
man.
Willie Taggart is the man.
I will. FSU all day. But no, Michigan is always overrated. I'm sorry. Our girl Tab on Twitter. Like, it's just the truth, man. Michigan, Harbaugh isn't the guy. He's going to lose to Ohio State again this year. Watch.
Jenny of Ohio chiming in. She's at the gym at 5 a.m.
Oh,
Man, we need to get the show on
Nice.
earlier for her so she can listen to it.
Well, I think she's in Texas, so
yeah.
we're on
Oh.
right as she's
Oh.
getting to the gym.
Yeah, that whole time change thing. Yeah, that's a thing.
The whole time zone thing, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And
so
Bob Green
we're good.
was a Montana Tech legend, retired in 2010, according to Memphis Spence. But his coach speak was legendary. I don't even know if you can qualify that as coach speak because that's way too good for coach speak.
Well, that's why it's
Yeah.
legendary. so much better than any
Coach-
other coach
yeah.
speak ever.
Coach speak is usually like, well, we just didn't play well today. We're just going to have to go hit practice hard tomorrow. Or, other coach
The one
speak is
about
like,
the wife not going to church with him.
other coach speak is like, well, we even though we've been in the state of Florida like all the time and it's always hot in the end of August, we just didn't hydrate our players.
Listen, man. Listen, bro. We're done.
I'm just giving
off
you
of it.
examples of coach speak. I don't know why you're getting so upset.
Get off of it. Get off of it, man.
Notice how like he knew
I know,
exactly who I was talking about.
Listen,
Because no other coach would
I
say
just-
something so asinine as to say, well, our players just weren't hydrated in the state of Florida at the end of August.
Yeah, that was a bad look. That was I got to say, Anthony, that was a bad look. You can't really fault him for bringing that up because that was a hot topic. Good old Willie T.
Listen, I'm not mad. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. All I'm saying is he needs time. That's all I'm saying, people. Okay?
He's got all the time in
jokes
the
are gonna
world from the skater fan.
The jokes are going to come and people are going to beat down that door. But listen, I'm giving my man 4 years. I'm sticking behind him, bro. Period.
All right. We're done talking
Willie
Florida
T,
State.
4
We
years.
get it. You're 4 years.
Exactly.
Willie T.
We're done. We're
Let's
not even
move on to
ranked.
another
Leave
team.
us alone.
Hey, you know what? A team that surprised me in college football that has been absolutely lighting it up? Maryland, man. Maryland goes out and whoops up on some Syracuse. And to me, this was an underrated team. I did not see this coming. So watch out. Maryland could be that sneaky good team coming in and really wreaking some havoc on college football. What do you guys say? What do you say? No?
Haven't even
Nothing?
been paying attention to him. I like the quarterback though, Josh Jackson. I like him a little bit. I've seen him in high school a little bit. He's all right. Seen little clips, but I don't know. It's Maryland, just like Tennessee, Texas. They'll find a way to screw it. They'll lose 2 or 3 some kind of way in there. You still got Clemson on the schedule, so
Yeah, I mean, Maryland doesn't play Clemson. What conference do you think Maryland's
they
in?
don't play.
No. What conference do you think Maryland's in?
Don't say the ACC.
They're not in the ACC. I know that. I know they're not in the ACC anymore.
So what conference do you think they're in?
Oh man, they're not in the ACC. Where did they go? They went somewhere. Where'd they go?
They haven't been in the ACC for a while. They've been in the Big Ten, stinking it
I
up.
knew that.
You don't know that because you thought they played Clemson this year.
I thought they had Clemson on the schedule. My fault. I was looking at Clemson.
No, you were thinking they were
All right.
back in that division where they play.
He's
Clemson
memorized every schedule in all of college football, and he just made one minor mistake.
I did not.
Okay? He knows every other team's
Listen.
schedule. Maryland, he knows. Missouri, he knows.
we're gonna go there.
Montana.
We're gonna go there. We're gonna go there.
Where are we going?
By the way, first Maryland's real test will be on the 27th against Penn State. They have Penn State at home. That's when I think we'll find out about Maryland, if they're for real or not. Because last year I think they beat Texas 2 years in a row, and then they kind of laid eggs after that. So we'll see how they do. If Syracuse is the new bar for Maryland, then that's a very low bar.
It is, but Syracuse was ranked, and they had a little juice going into this game, but Maryland knocked the socks off them. Mike Berlon's tweeting in. He says, Scout Team Radio, I'm far from a Michigan fan, but Army did the same thing to Oklahoma last year. So he's giving a little Michigan credit. I guess he likes some Jim Harbaugh, I guess.
Army's a tough team.
Army is a tough team. I guess I probably didn't give them the credit they deserved, but Michigan still being, ranked top 10, maybe top 12? I don't know that I give Michigan that. I think they're going to fall from grace. I think Michigan is maybe, sitting somewhere between 20 and 30 as far as top college football teams.
I'll give you that.
You better give me that.
Not before that. They're not 15 at all. Yeah, I'll give them 20 or 30, somewhere around there.
All right, we got
They'll be
2 minutes left, and we've been talking all football, but I do want to mention one thing on the MMA side. Chris America.
Yes, my
Khabib,
boy Khabib.
Yes,
just dominated
he has a huge
Poirier.
win.
Just
Huge win.
I scored the first round 10-2. After the first round was over, that's how bad Khabib beat up on Poirier. Then Poirier came out with a little fire, a little energy. He had he hurt Khabib a little bit, but then he wore himself out throwing so many haymakers, and then Khabib just took him down, grinded him out, and then finally just choked him out. Khabib is ridiculous. Dude is on another level.
Choking each other out.
Yeah, and Connor calling him out on social media after
Connor,
that. That's terrible,
Connor's so
right?
stupid. He's called out like so many people, and he never fights. Connor's a little B.
All right. And
But we
hey,
all knew that though.
fellas, lay off the golden mic about Maryland. He's just not hydrated this morning. Coming in from Mike Berlon.
Oh, who said that? Who said that?
Coming in
Who said
hot.
that?
Good old Mike Berlon.
Who said that?
Love
Oh
it.
man,
Oh, bro.
Oh,
I'm coming
man,
for
you need to drink
I'm
some
coming for
H2O,
you.
man.
there's no better way to
I'm
end the
coming
show.
for you. I am drinking water.
Oh.
Actually. I'm drinking water right now.
Hey,
Just
hydrate, my friend.
What? I'm hydrated.
Gotta stay
You better
hydrated.
drink some water. Gatorade, man. Get some Powerade in you.
Hey, Mike Berlon, I'm coming for you. In Memphis,
Electrolytes.
it's the AFC South, man. Of course, Mariota should win.